Now, here's the harsh truth. If you're not actively studying the game, you're the fish, even if you think you're winning. Becoming an advanced poker player isn't about luck or aggression, it's about discipline, strategy, and outthinking your opponent before the flop even hits. And, I've been playing this game for so long that I could still remember the turning point for me where things finally started clicking. Maybe you guys can relate to what I'm about to say, but I learned everything I could, from having like a strong technical game, understanding how to play different hands in different positions, reading books, etc. And I still wasn't really winning. I was probably like a break even player at best. And then I finally just figured out the two big mistakes I was making the entire time, right? I was more worried about how to play actual hands I was dealt as opposed to actually playing the player, meaning I wasn't bluffing much or correctly, and I wasn't really mixing things up to keep myself unpredictable at the table. The second thing was that I was getting way too emotional when I would lose, which would make me play worse the longer I would play on that given day. You sort of have to turn off your emotions when you play this game, especially at a higher level, which is obviously easier said than done, but it's something you can constantly improve at over time. And we actually have an awesome community you guys could check out in the pinned comment section where you could talk with me one-on-one, other high level members to get yourself improving at a faster pace. It also just kind of helps to talk to other people about, what's going on, right? With that said, we've also got some good stuff to go over here, some interesting spots. So you'll want to kick back, stick around to the end, and let's dig right into this. All right, so here we go with a queen deuce. Check this flop out. Not bad, huh? So we got the queen deuce here, top pair, not a good kicker, flush draw, whatever. So player three is going to throw out a 22-piece chicken nugget, as I like to say at this, and I'm just gonna make the call, and we're gonna see a turn card. I don't know why I think I want chicken nuggets today. Maybe that's what's going on here. All right, I think player two is gonna get out the way. Turn card was a three. Of course, it wasn't the deuce. There's a lot of draws out there. I was actually okay checking this to showdown, just because. I don't really like our kicker, honestly. And then, of course, an ace hits on the river, not the card we wanted to see. But he checked it. I checked it. He's going to turn over king 10, so we took that one down. And, I was actually okay going to showdown with that, to be completely honest with you guys. Ace 8 off. I actually folded this from early position. I didn't want to play it. Maybe player 4 put in a raise here. Let's see. Nope. Okay, yeah, no, I just folded it. I could have played it, but early position, first or second to act, it is what it is. Let's see if we would have got anything on this flop with it. Ooh, never mind. We definitely never were seeing a flop with this. Player 3 kicked it up to the 6-5 here. Nice sizing. He's going to take that one down. Probably had a pretty strong hand to make that raise. All right, next hand we had the jack 4, just giving it up. And, I would say for the most part in this, I might have thrown in a couple bluffs, but it was more like a kind of just like tight aggressive approach. You're always going to want to adjust to the table, and you kind of figure out the table after you've been sitting down for like 20 or 30 minutes. You'll start to see how people are playing. You know what I mean? So, but in this one, I think I just had kind of like a tighter approach. But I did throw in a couple bluffs. I know that. All right, so here we go. Slowing down the first spot here with pocket aces in the big blind. Talk about nice, right? I like having aces in the big. It's sneaky. Just hoping we get like an open raiser from first or second to act here. We would love to see a raise even before it gets to us. All right, so player 6 is going to open first to act. Player 2, maybe he kicked it up here. Let's see what happened. Now, player 2 didn't have a whole lot left, to be fair. He just called. All right, so we have to assume player 6 has a good hand. Anytime you're playing in these games, first or second position to act, if they open raise, you can put them on a pretty good hand. Mid pocket pairs, typically a lot of ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited type hands. But we got two aces here. We're gonna kick this up to maybe like 40-ish. Let's see what my sizing was. Maybe I went to 52. Let's see. All right. Oh no, I kicked. Let me see. I was trying to make this. I was trying to get a good sizing here because I wanted at least. I want both of them to call technically. I mean, I'll take one if one wants to just make a call. So yeah, I ended up going with 47, which is like a what, like a 4x raise, just about close to it. A 3.8x. I don't know. I'm not gonna do the math on it, but you guys get the idea here. All right, so I think player six. Yeah, player six getting out the way, and then player two. Um, who really just didn't have a whole lot left. He's just gonna kind of like come over the top. I think here he might have made the call, and then we went all in on the flop. Let's see, but this is gonna be an all in hand for sure. Yeah, player six. I think he's gonna think about it here, but I'm pretty sure he just mucked it. Player two is gonna end up having a good hand. You know, it's just when you run into aces, it's kind of like you run into aces. We just have to hope our hand holds up, right? That's about it. Lately, it's been holding up for me. I haven't had him crack too often lately. Don't want to jinx it right now. All right, yeah, player two. What you gonna do? He's gonna rip it. Easy call for us. Really nothing to think about here. Clearly. And he is gonna turn over. Let's see what he's got. Pocket jacks. Okay, so here we go. We're just dodging a jack. Hearts out there. We don't want to see a heart on the turn. That would give him more outs. And he didn't get it. So really, he's just hoping for. He's got two outs here, going to the river. We're in a good spot. Let's see what the river card was. It was a 3, which gave us a straight. Anyways, definitely glad he didn't have like ace king or ace queen because it would end up being a split pot. So we will take that one down, and that kind of just put us on the path here to things starting to go our way to from the get go here. Next hand we had a 6-7. Gonna make a call here. Not gonna raise this up. Just gonna call. And hopefully get something. I would not recommend raising. I think this is definitely just a call. And that is why we just called. That was just a terrible flop. We were just mucking this. No reason to continue here. We want to continue playing a sound game here, not get too out of line. We don't want to give it all back once we're kind of getting things going here, right? Now the queen deuce suited on the button here. I would normally raise this, but I'm not going to call, from first or second tag. We're just going to let it go, which is the correct play. All right, 2-5. We're going to just give this one up as well. Every once in a while, though, I'll mix things up. Sometimes I will open raise with a hand like that. It's not going to... The thing is, like, some of the plays that I make aren't going to be, like, your standard plays, but that's kind of what I was hinting at to begin with here. Like, mixing things up, you know what I'm saying? It's a good way to stay unpredictable in these games, which in turn can really help you out, players can't put you on hands. When they try to put you on hands, they're completely wrong, so yeah, I mean, it is good to mix things up is all I'm getting at. So here we go with pocket fives. This was an interesting play that I made, and I think you guys will see why. So I'm just going to call here. Player two is going to open to 10. Two players to act behind me. There's no reason to like raise this up. I'm just going to call. Player two, obviously playing a little bit scared, it seems like to me. And we're just gonna hopefully, get a 5, right? That's what we're gonna hope for. Player one, I think, is let's see if he raised it up. He might have raised it up. Okay, he did. He actually went a pretty big sizing here, 65. So all he is saying at this point is we know two things here. He's either got aces, kings, queens, sometime a big overpair, or a hand like ace, king, ace, queen. Now you're never really gonna know, but you can kind of navigate what somebody might have just based on their sizing. I mean, we expect him to throw something out on this flop, regardless, right? This flop's gonna miss both of us a lot of the time anyways. It's not like he was raising with I mean, I don't see it. I see ace king, ace queen suited type hands. Maybe some 10-9 suited hands get out of line and make that play, but not really. I don't really see it. And then you've got all the over pairs. We don't know what he's got yet, but to keep him honest, we're going to make a call to see a turn card, which was a deuce. Our hand here could be good for what we know. I just have to see what he does on the turn. Now, if he goes again for it, then we know he has an overpair. Checking doesn't make a lot of sense for an overpair, which is exactly why I made this play. The reason I'm making this play is because I'm trying to get those ace king type of hands to fold here. If he had an overpair, it just is a lot more likely he wouldn't have checked the turn. I'm just not seeing it. So I went with a pretty good sizing here. He doesn't know what I have. Maybe I have an 8. Maybe I'm doing this with a pair of 7s, but maybe either way, my hand's better than what he has. Now he's going to think this over for a little bit. If he has an overpair, which I'm now putting him not on having an overpair, he's going to make this call. But if he has ace, king, ace, queen, something like that, then yeah, we're getting him off this hand, and this play should work. I mean, our sizing's pretty good. And are you going to try to float the turn after somebody puts out this kind of sizing on you and kind of continues with you? I don't think so. It would be pretty interesting if he did, but I think our play was pretty sound right here. And guess what? It worked out. And check out what the river card would have been, which is even, you know, that was just advanced right there, man. Ace on the river. So if I would have just checked that over, our pocket five's done for, you know, for sure. I think I nailed exactly what he had. And that one worked out for us, right? But it wouldn't have worked out if I didn't have some like high level thought going on about making that play to begin with. And like I said, this is all stuff you guys can get better at. Takes time, but you got to be willing to put in the time. You know what I'm saying? Another reason why I would definitely recommend you guys, you know, get in the community for sure. But yeah, it was interesting play for sure. We still got some more good stuff, so stick around. Some more interesting spots that I think you'll enjoy. Hope you maybe learn something from it. Ooh, that guy had a flush. Nice. Jack 5. He didn't really get a whole lot. Now, Jack 10, I probably should have opened right there. I don't know why I didn't. Sometimes when I fold some of these hands that I'm like watching from previous sessions here, I like to say I took a bathroom break maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just was superstitious about it and I just folded it, you know? Can't really say one way or the other sometimes. Sometimes I'm even confused at my plays. I'm like, why did I do that, you know? Sometimes you're just in the moment of it, and yeah, you just make quick decisions, and sometimes you don't remember why you made that decision. I mean, you know, you're playing so many hands anyways. All right, so we open it here with queens, hoping for somebody to raise us here. And let's see if player 4 made the call. I think he did. Pretty sure he did. All right, well, never mind. Nothing there. All right, next hand we had a 7-5. And, you know, so far so good. You know, things are kind of going our way for the most part. Not a whole lot to worry about. I do like that play I made with 5s, though. I thought it was pretty advanced. All right, so 8-6 suited in the small. Definitely going to make a call here. We just don't want anybody to kick it up any higher than this. Otherwise, we might have to fold. I like 8-6 suited. And now we have to fold. Player 4 kicked it up to 50. Not a good play to make. Plus player 4, you know, I noticed he was actually playing pretty tight. But player 1's going to kick it up here to 120. Player 4 is going to make the call. Definitely feels like an ace-king situation here. Maybe both these guys have ace-king. I don't know. But player 4 made a call pretty quick there. I think one of these guys has it for sure. Player 1 checked it over. The pot's gotten pretty big here. River card's a 5. No idea what's going on here. Let's see if it went check, check, maybe. Wow, pocket jacks took that down. That was very interesting. You know, if player 1 would have went for it, I think that he's definitely getting player 4 off the hand, but you know, he played that hand a little bit strange. I don't know why he made that huge raise, but to 120, but he did what he did, and you know, it is what it is. All right, so we have kings. We're just hoping somebody raises us. Player 1, I was like, man, come on, man. You've been raising everybody. Now we get kings, we get nothing. That is the worst right there, man. That is the worst. But but guess what? We have 2 rounds of aces in this. We have aces, I think, coming up as our next hand, which, to be fair, I played the hand a little bit different. I think you'll see why I kind of played this the way I did, though. All right, so we have aces in the big blind. You know what? We had aces earlier in the big blind too. Now that I remember it, against jacks. Now, player 6 is gonna open 1250. So you know, we're just gonna raise this up. I'm just hoping somebody raises it up before us. Would be nice. We haven't really had a lot of those spots, you know. So it would be nice to get one right here. All right, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. We'll see what happens. All right, so player 2 just called, and kind of the same scenario. We're probably going to kick it up to like 47-ish, 45, 47. And be nice. I mean, at least one of these guys make the call, maybe both, whatever. Maybe I did go to, no. All right, yeah, so kind of just bringing it down a little bit here. It's on player 6. What's he gonna do? Now I think by the time we get to the end of this hand, you're probably just gonna be baffled, because I definitely was. I'm not gonna say I played this perfect either, because I didn't, but man, I'll tell you what, man, I was just kind of like, really? This was just a very interesting hand, for sure. All right, so player 6 is just going to call. Just call. And then player 2 is going to have to make a decision. He doesn't have a whole lot left anyways. He kind of was just like right at the 200 mark the entire time we were in this one. But yeah, here we go. All right, so check this flop out, man. Now we're blocking the diamonds, but this is such a draw-heavy flop. I mean, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. I checked it. Turn card was a 3. Now, unless he's slow playing something, which I was kind of thinking maybe, you know, I was kind of like, whatever. Now, I'm hoping a diamond hits, right? I'm hoping we get a diamond. We don't. It's a 4. Okay, so now I'm feeling pretty good here that this guy might have a pair, you know, maybe like king jack, queen jack. We don't want to see king queen. He's going to go for some value here on the river, and I couldn't really figure this out. Like, do I raise or just call? I just hated this flop. But look at what he turned over, kings. Now, if we run the hand back, why didn't he raise us again with kings? We could have actually got it all in there, but we didn't. Player 6, for whatever reason, had some kind of crazy read, and I can't even explain how that one worked, right? Anyways, here's the deal, guys. I hope you enjoyed another one here. You know, subscribe if you haven't, tap the like, and we'll see you in the next one.